every cliche that you'll ever hear has a bit of truth to it. But a lot of times people don't add as much weight. But I tell you, this cliche that behind every great man is an even better woman, you're going to see why that is the absolute truth. Today, I get a chance to be able to sit down with not the woman who has all the titles that you're going to hear about and has all the accolades that you're going to hear about, but I get to sit down with my friend, Monique. We met in 1999, and what my pops always told me is that you never know where someone's from, you never know where they're going, you never know where you'll meet up with them again, so make a friend out of everybody. And Monique and I made friends back in 1999 at the Mandalay Bay because I had a friend named Sandy that referred Monique to me, and I got a chance to be able to take care of Monique's hair. We became friends that way, and I reached out recently on Instagram, and it was funny because when I reached out, I think that she thought that it was just like a cold reach out. Hey, I want you on the podcast, but it was like, I want to be able to reconnect with my friend Monique. And she has this moniker, which I'm sure that she loves, or she'll probably push it away because she's humble like that. But the mother of champions. And for me, it means so much because this woman has dedicated her life to be able to raise some of the greatest kids with the highest integrity and highest character, and to help them not only be charitable, give back to the community, but just be absolute phenomenal human beings. And I think that every woman needs to be celebrated in that does that kind of thing, because I grew up with a mom who was constantly telling me that it wasn't about all the stuff that you did, but it was about the person that you are. So it's my honor, my pleasure to bring you the woman who thought I was trying to get her on the podcast because of something else, but I wanted her to be here because of her greatness and what she's been able to do. The mother of champions, Monique Payton. Let's get this party started.
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
Welcome to the show. Tell me how dyslexia, being a grandmama, NBA titles, and water polo, how do all those connect?
Wow, water polo? That's crazy. So my son is Gary Payton II, who plays for the Warriors, who's a champion, but was diagnosed with dyslexia in the 4th grade. Okay, so that's how dyslexia came about. That's how he became a champion with the Warriors. The water polo, I don't understand how you know about the water polo. So
I love that you encouraged him, but he didn't really swim that well, so they put him in the shallow end, right?
Yes.
So help me with this, because a mama's support is probably one of the greatest things in the world.
Yes.
And you guys allow us to make a decision on our own. Did you know that wasn't the thing that he should be doing? But you just wanted to encourage it?
Yeah. So my children wanted to play every sport. You name it, they wanted to play. Some sports overlapped. So you have to make a decision what you're going to do. You're playing baseball or basketball, football. And so I remember the youngest one, Julian, he cried. He's like, Mom, I want to play both sports. I'm like, dude, you can't. I can't there's only one of me. There's only one of you. You only can go to one. I said, go to your room, come back, sleep on it, let me know. He came back 20 minutes later. He's like, Mom, I'm playing football. I'm like, let's go, get your bags. We're going to sign you up, and we're going to write this contract, because once you start, you can't stop to the end of the season. So back to little Gary, when we were living in Seattle, he's like, Mom, I want to do water polo. I was like, wow, okay, let's go to practice. I don't even know how we got at the water polo practice who the coach was, but we went there and it was just a practice, and they put him in a shallow end. Although he could swim, he wasn't a strong swimmer. After the practice, he's like, Mom, I can't do it. I was like, perfect. At least you tried. I need for everybody to try everything you want under the sun, and we'll go from there. A little short note story. My daughter, who's my eldest child with the 2 grandkids, she told me, Mom, I want to go to a mosque because I want to see what it's like and what, I'm like, go for it. She goes, she comes back home. She's like, Mom, everyone is separated. The women are separated and the men are separated. I don't want that. I'm like, at least you went. So for those, they want to try everything. Let them try everything. Let them burn their hands, fingers, toes, whatever it is. And, they'll figure it out. That's how the water polo happened.
What about the mom part of it? Because this is a tough. I remember my brother came to my mom one time and said, my teacher told me that I was too short and I could never play any the quarterback position that he wanted to play. And my mom went down to the place. This is the first time I ever saw my mom do this. My mom almost beat this woman into oblivion, telling her, "Don't you tell my son what he can and can't do." And we went with her, and I was standing behind her like, "Yeah, Mom, get her," because I didn't like my teachers anyway. But when the dyslexia, when it comes in, and back in the day, it wasn't like they were diagnosing that right away. They were just saying, hey, because I was in special ed. They called it special ed at the
Right.
time, or they didn't call it special ed. They called it that later. But when a mom hears from a teacher, hey, you have to do this, you took action that most people wouldn't do. What would you say to the moms out there that maybe have a child that has something, I call it special abilities, not that
We
part.
we call it superpowers.
There we go.
So when Gary was diagnosed in the 4th grade, the teacher came to us. Now, mind you, I'm a avid reader. My kids and I, we would read 20 minutes before the bedtime, or you go get a book, sit in the library. We had a library in Seattle, like literally a library in the house. It was great. So we would sit there. Of course, I'm not listening to everyone read. And Gary, I would notice him speaking very low, or he was mumble. I'm like, babe, I can't hear you. You have to speak up. No one's going to be able to hear you. So when the teacher came to me in 4th grade and said, we think that you need to get Gary tested. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with my kid. My kid can read, because we read all the time, right? So anyway, I took the advice, took him to get assessed, and there he was, diagnosed with dyslexia in the 4th grade. So for me I'm telling parents, be patient. So I don't want to call them signs, because like I said, there is nothing wrong with them. They just learn different, right?
Yeah.
So be patient with them. Find out, get them assessed. Early detection is very important, because the sooner the better. The sooner you find out, the better you can help them. So you have to be patient with the kids.
So Monique, take me back to young Monique, because I see a lot, the relationship that you had with your mama, and I see how amazing of a mom you are. When you and I got a chance, when we met, I mean, you were talking about your kids. Now it's crazy because it was 1999. So GP2 at that time is 7 years old, I believe. So he hadn't even kind of started on his journey.
No.
But take me back to the young Monique. What were some of the principles that you saw in your mom that made you want to be the type of mom that you are?
My mom was really quiet, but she was very loving.
Mhm.
So she never spanked us, right? She only spanked us one time, and we laughed. I remember the laundry clothes was on the bed, and me and my brother at the time, she spanked us, and we laughed in the covers. I mean, in the clean clothes. And the only thing she said, "Wait till your father gets here." Then he was a disciplinarian, so we were scared of that. But my mom was so loving. We had a lot of love growing up in the household. So I tell everyone to love on your kids. So the dad, I call him the dad, Mr. Payton. Everyone knows I call him the dad because there's a few Garys out there. So instead of little Gary, big Gary, Gary the senior, I just call him the dad. So the dad was the disciplinarian. So I would have to, he would come off of trips and get on them about one fork in the sink or some petty stuff, right? I'm like, just put the fork away, right? Put the fork away before dad gets on. So I would just make sure I would lift them all the time because you got to have a bad cop, good cop. You have to have structure and what have you. So yeah, I remember 2006. I did used to, because I'm going through my own, my life with my husband and the games and people and stuff, right? So you get a little upset, but you would take it out on the kids per se, like get your so-and-so up to your room and, not curse at them, but curse. So 2006, I stopped that. It was no bad words. It was just, please, can you put your things away? I turned the corner for whatever reason I did. And if I said but or ass or what have you, they were like, Mom, you curse. And I'm like, sorry. So my thing is, don't curse at your kids. You're going to get the most out of them if you pour love into them, talk to them like human beings. You're going to have great human beings growing up. I just emphasize just showing love. That's what I do. People always say, if you see Monique, you see your kids. You see her kids with her, right? I love my kids. They're great human beings.
Tell me about Raquel, because she just emailed me this morning. So for those of you listening too, this is the way that the show goes. A lot of times, I've reached out to Monique. We've been back and forth correspondent wise, but I reached out to her yesterday, and I was like, "Hey, Monique, I would love to have you on the podcast." When she said, hey, "Let's do it," I was like, "We'll do it tomorrow. Like, let me get you tomorrow." And Raquel was so professional, so incredible. Tell me more about her, Raquel, as a person.
Oh, she is my firstborn, love of my life. She is everything. She could be a little bossy, but she got it from her mother. She can be aggressive, but she got it from her mother. And she's always like, Mom, you're so aggressive. I'm like, girl, you are too. Stop it. But she has a whole entire family. She's married, and she's married to Chris Child's son. So we have basketball families on both ends. It's crazy. It's so crazy. And we get along so well. We have a good time. We party. We laugh. It's just amazing. Anyway, so she's married to Jesse Childs, who's Chris Child's son. Yeah. And they have two beautiful little boys, Jacoby and Drew, 1.5, 3.5. My mother lives with them. So she's got all the help in the world. She stays home, but she works remote from a tech company. So she's chief of operations, very smart. She's learned so much. She was a teacher prior for 8 years, high school and then junior college. So after that, she went into the tech company and was able to work remote, which was great because of COVID. She is so excellent. So her and I run the foundation. Mm-hmm. Gary's foundation. My brother in 2021 stepped away. Raquel and I stepped in and took off from there. She's over operations and I'm over events. And so she is just excellent. And so if I'm over events, I have my times, my meetings, my people to work with me. She always wants to come in and put her little 2 cents in all the time. And we're all rolling our eyes because we're like, you're not part of events. You're part of operations. Get up out of the meeting. But I really rather her in so she can just direct kind of, whatever. But she's amazing. And so yesterday when you called me, you text me, I'm like, Kel, can you please just send Kelly? And at this time, Kelly, I still didn't realize it was you. It wasn't until this.
Can you tell this part too, Monique? Because I felt it in the tone of the text. It was like, you're going to send me the because I saw business Monique come in, and I had experienced business Monique in '99, like not towards me, but like when you were either having a phone call or someone would come in, I could see you almost have to switch and have that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That
Guard up.
around. And I heard that in the tone of the text, and I was like, damn, okay, I got to make sure that she feels safe, that she feels good, because I'm not a hanger on, anything like that. But tell them this, because I thought this was hilarious.
So when you reached out to me a few months ago in my DMs, okay, first of all, in my DMs, I'm like, okay, someone wants to do a podcast regarding Gary. So I'm not really into it, but I did respond a little bit, right?
Yeah. I completely understand.
And then I just whatever. And you hit me again yesterday. I'm like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity for us to tell about the camps, the elite basketball youth camp that Gary's putting on first time here in Vegas. And we can talk about that soon. And I'm like, let's do it. And you said tomorrow at 2:30, which was today. And I'm like, let's get it done. Because, I was like, no, I better get it done. We don't have much time. So I looked this morning, I go looking up Kelly Cardenas. How do you say your last name?
Cardenas.
Yeah, Cardenas. Sorry. I Googled you. Now, I Googled you and I see the salon. I said, oh my gosh, this is Kelly that used to do my hair back in the day. This is going to be a great podcast. I'm talking to my brother, like, this is going to be easy. I'm not nervous. So that's how we are here right now talking about my life.
Well, I love it. Tell me this too with Raquel. Well, people always told me that if you have multiple children, you'll love them all exactly the same. Do you feel that's true, or do you love your daughter different than your sons?
Okay, so don't get me in trouble, Kelly, but they already know. Raquel and little Gary, soon as that little Julian came, that's my third one. I don't know if you met him.
I don't think I got to meet Julian yet.
Oh my God, he's a piece of work. But that third one, Mr. Julian, was my baby. Well, first of all, he's the last one, right? And I was hoping he was a girl, and he wasn't, and I was upset, but then he was a boy, and I just love him so much. And yeah, he was my baby, so I favored him. And so what? So now what?
Well, what was the glaringly obvious? Like we had one Christmas, so I had two older brothers. They used to always tell me that my parents loved me the most because I was the baby. But I was like, whatever, you guys are just saying that. And then one year for Christmas, my parents got me everything. Well, we didn't have much, but it was everything to us. I got a Nintendo, a racetrack, I got all kind of toys. And my brother, Rob, the lawyer, got underwear, socks, and a brush. That's what he got. And he was like, do you see it? And I was like, damn, I see it now. Has there been some blatantly obvious stuff with Julian that GP2 and Raquel were like, you see?
Well, he didn't get in much trouble. He got away with everything. And he was able to come and sneak in the bed with me. I'm like, Julian, come get in the bed with me. So yeah, the other two, they were like, get out, go to your room. But Julian would be the one to sneak, and he'll sleep with me. Yeah, but Raquel is quite an amazing woman, friend, and wife. And she's just excellent with the foundation. Like, I just adore her, and she's so professional. Like, I told her, I was like, you need to come on this podcast with me, because at the time I thought it was about Gary. I didn't know it was my friend calling me to talk about me. And so when I say, Raquel, you need to come on the podcast so you can be the professional and I can be, we have two different personalities, and we attack things differently. But she is actually on a business trip trying to find an event for a venue, which we've already found, but she's going to go check it out for our wine mixer that's coming as a private event. And we can talk about that later. regarding
Well,
the power.
let's talk about the event too, the events, because you got one coming up in Oakland, you got one coming in Las Vegas. I mean, these were dreams. I grew up in Lompoc, California, and if I would have had the opportunity as a young kid to be able to be in the midst of an NBA champion, and for me, I think one of the greatest defenders. I mean, GP2, like his defense, like how he defends is unbelievable. But to have the ability as a young kid to go to a camp and be at a camp to learn the principles, to learn those things from a person who wasn't talking about it, that's doing it, like this is unbelievable. When is Las Vegas and then when is Oakland?
Oakland is July 1st and 2nd. It's a 2-day event.
Yeah.
Lunch is provided. And of course, skills, integrity, character. You have speakers to come and just tell their stories, and they're able to ask questions. We also have our first annual camp here in Vegas, which we're so excited. We're trying to hit every city that Gary has went to school, you know?
Yeah.
So we're trying to do this year. I'm just so excited that it's here in Vegas. It's on July 7th. It's a 1-day camp, but 2 sessions, 6 years old to 11 years old in the morning, and then 12-year-old to 16-year-old in the evening. Co-ed, so girls and boys. So I want everyone to bring their the basketball hoops and their wristbands and their headbands. And I also want to do a little special discount code.
Yeah.
But you'll have to DM me
Oh yeah.
on Instagram to receive that special code, discount code for Las Vegas and or Oakland, but especially Las Vegas. I want to really, really give some love to Las Vegas.
It would be unbelievable. Like any kid who is in Las Vegas is playing basketball, anything like that. The one thing that I have a beef with though, Monique, is where is the like 45 to 55 camp? Like, where is that one? Can we come? Can we learn some skills? Cause I'm still a free agent right now. Like what constitutes a free agent is that you don't have a contract, you're willing to play. And I send it out all the time. Like, let them know every year I'm a free agent. I'm ready to go. They keep telling me, wait over there. And way over there. And we'll give you the sign.
We might have to ask the dad to do an old man's camp. Right, what we might have to do.
But also too, like if you want, when you were talking about the DM part of it, if that's the way. But if you'll DM, and we'll have all of Monique's information in the bio for that. If you too want to send me the code at all, I can put it in the bio for you. So then that way, because I know you get mad at people and don't respond to them for months if they go in your DMs. So I know how you're doing it, Monique.
Yeah, that's fine. I would definitely do that. I just want to let the Vegas know we're here. We're here July 7th.
Are you going to be teaching too? Because rumor has it that you were the track star, you were the basketball star, and that you got game.
Game.
I
played since 7th grade. And let me just tell you this, little Gary and Julian in the summers in Oakland would go to Merritt College to practice and shoot around, what have you. And they came home one day and said, Mom, you have some records at the school. I said, I do? I didn't even know. I just love to play. I didn't know I had records up there. But yeah, I was a baller and I was a track star. And
what did you run?
I ran.
What did you run?
So this is how old I am. I ran the 100, 200, the 330 lows. Does anyone know what the 330 lows were?
What's the 330 lows?
They're hurdles.
Ooh.
Yeah, they don't do 330 lows anymore. And I was a high jump. Yeah.
What'd you get in high jump? What was your record in high jump?
I don't remember. I just ran.
Come on, Monique. No, you remember. You got your Letterman's jacket like on like right there. You got it in the closet right now. You can still fit in it.
I don't know where it is. I hate it.
you you don't wear it out sometimes to just be
If I had
flexing?
it, if I knew where it was, I would wear it.
You would get it?
Let me tell you about the foundation, though, and the
Tell
reason
me. Yeah, yeah.
how we started that. So 2021, we started the foundation. I told Gary when you were ready to tell the world that you were dyslexic, because you're going to help so many people, right?
Yeah.
And so, like I said, my brothers pushed the button and started it, and so Raquel and I ran with it. And now we have given scholarships to families to navigate, to help them navigate dyslexia. Children Health Council and Morrissey Compton out of Palo Alto, we've given scholarships and we have helped 5 families. And we still have scholarships. If people just go to the website and sign up, you're in. Like, it's so wonderful. And those people at the centers are so wonderful. We had to pick and choose out of several, and we couldn't choose one because we want our families that we send there to feel safe,
Yeah.
loving, comfortable. And so we had to get 2 of the centers, which is amazing. Nothing better than more than one, right?
Absolutely.
And we also have scholarships for Project Read out of New York. And this is a AI tool that help teachers help children read. It's so amazing. Again, go to the website. You can read all about it. And we've helped hundreds of teachers for free get this AI tool. We're really trying to get it to the districts so that
Yeah.
the districts can give it to the teachers. Well, right now, we're able to give them to the teachers because the districts are a little cheap, you know. So we're really trying to push it to the district so that they can purchase it and share it amongst the teachers. So we have those scholarships. We have, again, our 2 elite basketball camps that Gary is there in person helping with the kids. We have DREDF, which is the Disability Rights and Education. Don't wait, let me get that right. Let me look at my notes.
Raquel's going to get us. Raquel's going to get us on it.
Disability Rights Education Defense Fund out of California. They are great with resources as well as the Dyslexia Decoding of California.
Yeah.
So if you just go on the website, and I'm sure you're going to link it, go
Yeah.
see what we have done with these children's, helping these families navigate dyslexia. Like, it is totally, those kids, they're amazing. And they just learn different, right? They're
Yeah.
creative, they're athletic, they problem solve, like, they're really amazing. Oh, also, Charles Armstrong in California, it's a dyslexia school. We partner with them and we do a workshop where they simulate dyslexia. So you go into this classroom per se, and you go to each section, and they do a what do you call it? A simulation.
Yeah.
As if you're dyslexic. They use a mirror, they put your hand, you write, like, it's so amazing. And so when we started, they were asking the people, is there tissue on every table? I'm like, why is there tissue on the table, right? You ball, because you have parents there, teachers there, and they go through this simulation as if you're dyslexic. And then you realize, oh my gosh, my son struggled this whole time without me knowing, without finding resources, helping. Like, it gives me chills every time I think about what Gary had to go through all alone, until the teacher told me, and we got him assessed and diagnosed. And then therefore we have all these resources now for all these families, tutoring and so forth and so on. So please go to our website.
Yes.
And sign up for the scholarship so we can help you help your child.
Well, I was looking at it too as I was going through the website too, and like, I mean, from everything from the wellness part, the education, and the equalizing, as far as the initiatives, and
Yes.
it was cool because there's a lot of times where like say somebody experiences something, right? So you're talking about the dyslexia part. Then they just only focus on that thing, but you guys want to all encompass it. Why was that so important? Because you're looking at the fact of, like the sports skill part of it, the wellness part of it, the education, equalizing so people, have the opportunities that other people didn't have. Why was it so important to be all encompassing as opposed to just focusing one place?
Well, of course, when you want to know something or find something out, like what's wrong,
Yeah.
what's not clicking, okay? What's not clicking, not what's wrong, but what's not clicking. You don't want a little piece of the pie. You want to know the whole spectrum of what is happening, because we'll have a family that was assessed and they weren't even dyslexic. They had autism. So we don't even just, I have chills again. We don't even focus just on dyslexia. We want to know, and we want to help you find out what is going on with your child. So then now you can focus on that, ADHD, autism, whatever it is. We want to make sure you have some answers, and then therefore we can give you resources to help navigate your child so that they can thrive.
How long was it, Monique, when GP2 like went through that, to then talk about it publicly is a different part of it, right? And
Totally.
what was that like to be able to, because most of the time when we're seen as different in any way, shape, or form, we almost want to hole up a little bit. Yeah, that is my circle knows about it, but for him to step out and say what he does, for us on the outside, we're saying, "Oh my gosh, this shines light on it." A champion, an absolute champion, one of the best in the NBA, like those kind of things. This makes me feel okay, but from his side, there can be apprehension. Was there apprehension?
Well, remember, it was fourth grade.
Yeah.
And so let me tell you that part of the story. We were in Seattle. Gary, the dad, we moved to LA because he played with the Lakers. I remember on the airplane, little Gary is sitting behind me across the aisle, and he was crying. And I look back and I'm going, "What's wrong, babe?" He's like, "I don't want to be dumb." And it broke my heart. I'm like, "Babe, you're not dumb. You just learn differently, okay?" So we went to LA. In my mind, I'm like, I have to find someone who is successful that has dyslexia, that can help him understand, like, you can be successful, what have you. Don't ask me how I did it. I got him in front of Henry Winkler from Happy Days, the Fonz.
Yeah.
Little Gary didn't know who that was, but I knew who he was. Kelly, don't ask me. I got in his office with little Gary, and he set little Gary down, and he goes, "You're not dumb. You have a superpower." He said that he had to have his lines given to him to be able to do his scenes. So that was fourth grade, Kelly, when I saw Henry, right? So I'm going to come back to that. But so since fourth grade up until high school, I'm like, when you're ready, because he was balling now, like went to junior college. I can see the potential of getting to the next level, right?
Yeah.
College, OSU. And so I'm like, when you're ready to tell the world, you're going to help all these little kids, G. He's like, "Okay, Mom, okay, And so here we go. Didn't get drafted. He was undrafted. Then he goes to the G League, and he goes to that team, this team, that 5, 6, 7 teams before he lands with the Warriors. And the first year he lands with a contract with the Warriors, he became a champion. And then during that time, he promised me he was going to get his degree. And it took 8 years, and I totally forgot about it, because when he left OSU with only a few credits left behind, I was like in shock, like, "No, you're not. Go back to class." He's like, "Mom, I promise." He didn't, he texts me, he texts me, Monique. I'm like, yes, Gary, what did I do now? And he sends me his diploma. He texts me his diploma. He didn't call me. He texts me his diploma. I said, oh, I cursed and everything. And I'm like, what? And so it made me feel good. Like he did it. He did it. He got his diploma. Now he's a champion. Like he persevered and he stayed true and he studied hard and he had help. He could not have done this alone,
Yeah.
period. So don't think you can do it alone. You will need help. And he always says, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And as they were growing up, I used to tell the kids, when you're in the class, raise your hand. Don't be afraid to raise your hand. Even if you may know the answer, there's a kid behind you, in front of you, on the side of you that doesn't know and won't raise their hand. And then the teacher not only knows, okay, you're trying. One, speak to your teacher when you come in. Hi, Mr. Kelly. I am Monique, and I want to get an A in this class. And every day I want you to speak to that teacher. I want that teacher sees 100 kids a day. Every time they see you, they're going to be like, hey, Gary. And when you get that test and you got a B minus, there's like, oh, he wanted an A. I know he's trying hard. I'm going to give him a B. I'm going to give him a B plus. I tell my kids that all the time. And I also tell them to keep relationships. Keep relationships. Don't burn bridges. Be kind. Be respectful, because you never know when you see that person again, Kelly, and you full circle, right? And they're going to say yes. And they may say no, or they may say not at this time, but at least you have that opportunity because you've had that relationship with them. Those are my gems, I think.
How do you keep that in check when you're living in a reality that is not a normal reality? Because your kids were raised in a environment that was moving from city to city, moving from city to city, or the dad was getting a job in a different area, picking up and going, but also being, you guys' reality was different, but you kept such phenomenally grounded kids. How can this, I lost you just for a second. Where did I lose you when I was asking you the question as far as how you're able to keep your kids grounded when you're in literally they were raised in the stratosphere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Keeping them grounded. I don't know. It's just so easy. They're very humble kids.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they are that way, because I don't know, Kelly. They're just so sweet. They never ask for anything. During Christmas time, I'm like, what do you want for Christmas? When they're kids, they'll say what they want, right?
Yeah.
But as an adult, or not an adult, but I'm like, what do you want? I want to get nothing, Mom. I don't want anything. I don't want nothing. It's always, I don't want anything. I don't need anything. I don't know. Maybe it's the love that I give them, because that's all they need. All you need is love. You don't need materialistic things.
Yeah.
You don't need anything. And if you're a great kid, you're going to get rewarded just because you're just a great kid. And I want to just give you stuff. You keep your room clean. You got to teach them to be independent, like early, so they don't have to depend on you. They can do on their own, And if they need you, they know you're there. You're there for them no matter what.
What about the mom that, has either a child or multiple children? That kid has a superpower. They're learning different, and maybe they don't have the Monique personality that says, I don't know how, but I grabbed a hold of the funds. Where does that mom go to be able to get the type of encouragement to be able to help her through the times of, the kid being a little different with the superpower?
Well, on our website, we have resources. There's groups. Did you hear that ding?
Yeah, I did. It's okay.
There's groups there. I'm sure there's Facebook groups that you can join.
Hmm.
But if I don't know, go in my DMs. Come in my DMs. I'll answer a few questions. Like, I don't know, just there's resources out there for you. Just go to our website.
Well, I think it's incredible too because the resources. I think a lot of times people don't understand them. And so with say with Gary, what were some of the things that you were starting to see? You said early on you heard him mumble or mumble through the words, things like that. What can some of the parents be on alert for to say, hey, because I I believe, and I don't know this to be true now, but the way that you're describing it, my son has been having some challenges in English and, not doing his homework because he, pushes it off because he gets overwhelmed with it. And I'm having the thought is like, could this be a scenario? What are some of the things that as a parent you could look for?
Well, for me, like I said, for Gary, it was him mumbling. So what they say is they act out, right? They keep wanting to go to the bathroom. They raise their hand, I want to go to the bathroom, or they act up. They're the class clown, what have you. They're quiet. They're withdrawn. Don't want to raise your hand. So that's what I found in other people's children, from them telling me. But for little Gary, is the being quiet and mumbling is what I noticed
Yeah.
until the teacher said something. So I'm sure every child is different, how they act out or don't act out. So
How did you learn how to encourage your kids in different realms? Because am I correct that your daughter did she do 2 years? It was St. John, am I correct?
St. John, yeah.
Yeah. So she
I
did
didn't,
2 years.
I didn't tell you that.
Was that?
I didn't tell you that.
Oh, well, I get, we want to make sure that you're honored there. That's what I told you about, Monique. So say with your daughter, it's different encouraging her than you're looking at Julian. We already understand that you encourage him more and love him more than all your children. You already established that. Julian, I want to tell you that too. She told me that here, and we're gonna clip that out, and I'm gonna make sure that's on social, like over and over and over again. And then you have a Gary who doesn't have a traditional road to the NBA, goes undrafted, goes through the G League, has, breakout games. I mean, there was one time he had a 51-point game, but it wasn't easy. And then, in 2022, when he does win the championship, he gets undercut by Dylan Brooks and fractures his elbow and then comes back in the finals. How do you know how to encourage the different
Mhm.
personalities and how is it tough to adjust as a mom?
So Raquel and I probably talk on the phone 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Julian lives with me, but even when he living with me, I'm upstairs, he's downstairs. We talk 10 times a day, text, what have you. Little Gary, I would text him, hello, or send a gif of Tom Hanks doing like this, hello. Or I'll call and he won't answer, and I'll say, I just want to see your face. Then he'll do a screenshot of his face and text it to me, like, dude, I want to see your freaking face and hear your freaking voice. And then he'll FaceTime me in the dark, and I'm like, Gary, I don't see your face. And then he'll look through I'm like, dude. So they are all different. They are all different, literally. And so I text Gary. I encourage him after every game. I say good shit. That's every time. You ask him what I say after each game. That's what I say. Good shit. And or we'll get it next time.
Yeah.
But for sure, if you ask him what I say after each game, it's good shit. Julian, I have to encourage way more often, like give him affirmations, because he's 27. He's trying to find his way. He's been into a head-on collision car crash. I can't remember 2000. I can't remember, but it was the worst, one of the worst calls I've gotten. So he's got pins in his left hand, on his left side, arm and leg. So, he's been through some rough times and he's still learning and finding his way. So I have to encourage him a lot more so than any one of them. And Raquel, I just keep telling her how awesome she is as a mother. And I would be around her kids and they would be just doing all kind of shit, right? And I'm like, oh, my kids never did that. And she just died laughing. But yeah, they're all different. You have to encourage, accordingly.
Yeah. So when you guys, I never got a chance to work with my mom, right? But you guys work together in the foundation, and she sent me very professional. Sent me the email this morning. She was like, Monique here's her Monique's bio. Here's Monique's bio shot. She did the whole nine, and it was very professional. Referred to you as Monique like 3 times. I was waiting for you to jump through the email and be like, "My name is Mom." Because my mom would never allow me, and my pop was the same way, never allow me to call her by her first name or my pops. I mean, you didn't even think about that because you get knocked into the next week. Do you allow, like the cousins in the family or nephews or nieces, do they have to call you auntie? Do they have to call you by your grandma name, which you're going to tell me? And do they have to call you mom, or do you let the Monique slide sometimes?
I am so sorry.
That's okay. We'll forgive you. God is very gracious. That just means you're busy. That's what it is.
So Raquel, when in business, it's Monique.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. She never slides on the mom part. Well, maybe she does, but she literally calls me Monique. And then Julian always calls me mom. Little Gary would call me Monique. He calls me Monique quite often. Monique, I'm like, what, boy? Why are you calling me? Not my name. My name is Mom. But my cousins, well, not my cousins, because my cousins can call me Monique.
Yeah. But your nieces and nephews.
My niece and nephew call me Auntie
Okay.
Mo. Yeah, Auntie. And then my grandsons, they call me Honey. My daughter, when I found out she was pregnant, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to find me a name. It's not going to be Granny. It's not going to be Nana. It's not going to be Grandma, nothing, Gigi, nothing like that. I said, they can call me grandmother, the whole name. It's either the whole name or nothing. So I love the sun. I'm a sun worshiper. Vitamin D is good for you. So I was thinking Sunny. And my daughter goes, no, we're not doing Sunny. I'm going to think of a name for you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So she comes back. She's like, I got the perfect name. I'm like, what? She was like, Honey. She said, because you're so sweet, Mom. I was like, I'll take it. And I love my grandsons. Honey, honey, honey. That's all they say. Honey, honey, honey.
Do you regular? Because sometimes, see, my wife, you'll love her too, by the way. You guys have a very similar spirit. She doesn't take any garbage. She's very great at what she does. I mean, she's no joke. Her name is Brooklyn. But in Brooklyn's family, they all call the aunts and uncles by the first name. They call the grandpas by the first name. And it is weird to me. And I have to check. And I'm checking, like, they got a lot of people in their family. And so when we're at a family gathering, they're like, oh, hey, Kelly. I'm like, that's Uncle Kelly. But I'm the only one in the family that does it. Do you have to check it sometimes? Or is it just
no? No, I just, it's Auntie. They call me Auntie. I don't have to check anyone.
Should it be a law that we pass?
It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
I have strong feelings. I have strong feelings about it. Like, I'm a get off my lawn in that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to each his own, Kelly. I'm not calling you Uncle Kelly.
I know, but that wouldn't be right. But like my kids, it's funny because one of my daughter's boyfriend, which I don't like her to have a boyfriend right now, but this was a past boyfriend, and he was up in the house, and he was like, "All right, see you later, Kelly. And my daughter snatched him and took him in the garage. And then they broke up a couple weeks later. I don't think it was because of that, but it might have been.
Yeah, no, the friends, I think they should say, hi, Miss Monique, or, I don't care for the Mrs. Payton thing. I think it's too formal, but
Yeah.
Miss Monique is cute, like Miss Mo, Miss Monique, whatever.
Yeah.
So
How do
I'm
you,
okay.
like going back to the foundation, how do you know when to be able to leverage, right? So to be able to leverage, because I mean, if with this camp in Las Vegas, the opportunity to be able to have Gary on site and to be able to be a part of the camp and to not only the skill level, all the different things that are going to be, how do you know when to leverage him as far as his name with the foundation and when to be able to peel back? Because there are people like you thought I was in the DMs that are just going to go after the name for something for them as opposed to something that you guys set it out to be.
Correct. So we're very intentional. So we do a
Yes.
lot of vetting.
Yes.
So if it doesn't have to do with, well, there are some, special circumstances,
Okay.
but for the most part, it has to do with the development of the kids, dyslexia,
Yeah.
100%, because that's where we want to give our money to.
Yeah.
For the assessments could range from anywhere from $2,000 to $8,000, Kelly. What family, most families can't afford that. That is, and then you have to get tutoring, and tutoring is $120 at the least for an hour, and they want you to go 3 times a week. And there's no cutting around that. We've been trying to find tutors that could help kids and their families, but it's just really, really, really hard. It's just hard.
I mean,
So,
if you do doing the math on that, that's $360 a week. That's
right.
$720 every 2 weeks. That's almost $1,500 a month. I
Yeah,
mean, for some people, that's their living,
I
like
know.
where they
I
would
know.
be
And
living.
let me tell you this, that 1 out of 5 children are dyslexic. Now
Wow.
that is insane. That is insane. So can you imagine a class of 35 kids, right?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. So Gary spoke on at the Capitol for a bill that was finally passed to have every school in California, that is,
Yeah.
have to be assessed, which is great because early detection again is key.
Yeah.
So that's a bill that Gary spoke about, and it was passed, and we were so grateful and thankful for that. Now we need to get these teachers certified to be able to identify these kids. It's a whole gamut.
Wow.
It's not easy. I wanted to give a shout out to my advisory board for
Yeah.
the foundation. We have the amazing Wafa out of New York and Virginia out of Seattle. We have Diamond out of LA, Brittany out of LA, Amira, she's in Houston. What's her name? Stacy out of Napa Valley. Corinne, who is our ambassador in Oakland, and our PR social. There are girls from New York who helped me with my social,
Yeah.
the PR, Kim and Melissa. So we're some badass women on this foundation. Just want you to know that.
Is it all women? Because I'm hearing Raquel in that too. Is it all women on the foundation?
It is. Every 2 years, we kind of revamp for new energy.
Okay.
Last year we had a young man by the name of Lawrence, and he was spectacular. We also had Catherine and Mary and Michelle out of New York and Seattle. But this year we got some new girls. Social media, the younger crowd, the Gen X or whatever you want to call them, Z's or whatever, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But our team is so phenomenal, and so Amira O'Neill, she's the daughter of Shawnee, now Henderson, Shaq's daughter. She's on our board, as well as Brittany Russell, her mother's Kim Russell, whose father is Brian Russell.
Yep.
They used to play in league. So all these girls, we've known them since they were babies. So we were like, come along, learn the foundation, the nonprofit world, get on your resume, you know. So
What did you learn about foundations? Like, because you had been in the nonprofit world before that, you had had a lot of experience with it. But what did you learn once you went into this foundation world? Because people will see it from the outside and say, "Oh wow, this is this is amazing. It's kumbaya. You're helping people out. It's all just going to be fun and stuff like that." A lot of times they look at sports that way too. But you understand the real part of it. What is the like? If people knew how simple it was to be able to help out, what would be the thing? What would be the thing that if they knew, they would do more to be able to support the foundation?
So running a foundation is not for the weak. It takes up so much time. But again, if it's from your heart, first of all, this is my kid. The first foundation I worked on was Women Standing Tall, which was myself and Virginia. I didn't mention Virginia, or maybe I did. Her and I had our nonprofit. My cousin had died from HIV and AIDS, 2001. And so that was my cause, because people were like, you should do an event or fundraise. And I'm like, for what? Like, I don't have any love for anything. I can help everybody, anybody, but it needed to mean something for me. So long story short, so for those, you have to find people that either love who you are for you and want to help you, or have the love for the cause, And so if those are the two things that everyone loves, little Gary, and so they want to come and support him. But not only him, now it's him and his dyslexia, right? He's got a 2-in-1 kind of thing. Because some people, they're doing all these foundations, they're doing everything everyone else does. They're giving back to the youth, right? Yeah. Underprivileged youth. But we are intentional. We are giving back to the families that are navigating dyslexia. Raquel and I went to the NBA sent us to a conference in LA 2 years ago, I believe. And our keynote speaker was Colin Kaepernick. And there was 40 foundations from the NBA. And various mothers were there, and brothers and cousins who ran the foundation, those who hadn't started really much, and those who've been in it, like Magic Johnson's people were there. So when Colin asked each and every one of us, individual foundations, what was your cause? No one had said dyslexia or any mental and he was like, ooh, I want to speak to you guys because you guys are very intentional. Like, you know what you're going for and what you're doing. And so we were proud of ourselves, like, okay, we're doing something, right? But so if they love the person for who they are, and the person is truthful and, and the cause, like, they're going to want to help. We need all the help. I already told you 1 out of 5, 2,000 and 8,000 for assessing, like tutoring 120. That's a lot. So we need as much help as we can to help these children, these families.
Well, I was looking over this stuff too, where, I mean, obviously you vet these people, and it's not just about like somebody just throwing money, because you want to be associated with the right people.
Right.
But there was even, I was looking at it, and there was opportunities to be able to sponsor the camps, the basketball camps that you're doing. There's so many people that I come in contact with that I remember we did a charity event at the time when we owned the salons, and we would do it every week, and we would cut hair for the homeless, and then we would do, we would get them on their feet and do all the stuff. And I remember a person saying, I've always wanted to do something, but I just don't know what to do. And I was like, well, you could give socks, you could give whatever, and it goes to it. And they're like, oh, wow, that's so simple. So they were able to do it. What about the companies out there that are like, I would love to get involved. I'd love to get involved with dyslexia. Like, I'd love to get involved with that part of it to be able to help these kids. What would you say to those companies? What's the easiest path to be able to get involved with the GP2 Foundation?
Well, they will come to the website and they will probably email Raquel.
Okay.
And she will take care of any questions they have, and get them in the right direction, just to, help out with the foundation. I want to also say that we do have a title sponsor for our Las Vegas camp, Serenity Mental Health and Behavioral. Her name is Gabriella Cruz. She's the owner of Serenity. And so we're so thankful for her to be our title sponsor for our Las Vegas. Now, if we can find a title sponsor for Oakland, that would just put the icing on the cake.
Heck yeah. You know what's nuts too? And when I was talking about, you never know where someone's from, you never know where they're going, you never know where you'll meet up with them again. And this was a principle that my pop said, make a friend out of everybody.
Right.
Well, with Oakland, one of my friends, he actually is from the Bay Area, and he has Shumpert Plumbing. And it's funny because everything that you post, he's liking and commenting on. He's from that area, so he's going to freak out that you and I know each other. Another one too, actually, I didn't realize that that Gary went to Salt Lake City College too,
Yes.
right? So he went to Slick. And there's a guy that is a friend of mine, Hayden Shank, or what is it? Hayden. Those two know each other. So he was telling, I mean, it's wild, the little web that's weird.
Yes.
Let me switch gears for a second.
Okay.
My brother said this to me. We were sitting in the pool, and there's always the lifelong of like, this player is better than that player and all the stuff. And he said, the only sport, and I've never heard this thought. He said the only sport that is purely generational is basketball, is the NBA. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, because with who we grew up with, we're always going to think in that era, these people are the best, and they can't compare to this. And then when you were talking about the Gen Z, E, F, whatever they are, wherever they, all the names, they're going to say, no, but my guy is this. You've spanned multiple eras. Do you believe that thought process to be true as far as it being a generational thing?
I think so, because, the game has changed. So shooting from the outside, you're not even getting in the paint. Like, you're not even doing no work. You're just shooting from the outside. But, it is what it is. You can't hand check no more. Like, how am I supposed to defend somebody? What's happening? So it's just two different eras. And kudos to this era. Kudos to the back in the day, because they was tough. The Pistons was no joke. So, like, it is what it is. And we have some great players. I'm in love with Steph Curry. He's so amazing human being. He is just the sweetest guy ever. I love, you can say whatever you want to say about my man, Draymond Green. Love me some Draymond Green.
Hey,
Draymond Green.
Do you agree that he is a throwback and was supposed to be with the Pistons and during that era?
1000%.
Because the things that he gets in trouble for nowadays, he would have been known as that was just regular behavior during the time.
Yeah, but he got to slow down. We need him on the floor.
Yes, we do. We don't need the jump kicks. But hey, I'm an irrational fan, so I'm just like, I didn't see it. I there was no wind up on that. I didn't see it at all. But take me back to this, because you've experienced it as a wife and you experienced it as a mother, right? And in the era as a wife, like, I mean, you're dealing with Sean Kemp, one of the best. I mean, at that time with Sean Kemp and the dad, that pair, I mean, unbelievable. Then you got Barkley, then you got Olajuwon, you got, and obviously you got Jordan. Was it tough during that span of 8 years? Because the Bulls were there, and with the Bulls, there wasn't had Jordan not retired those 2 years, there's a possibility they go 8 straight. So for 8 years of your career being in there, you're going to run through a buzzsaw of who the Chicago. Did you see that as a wife too, or were you just like, nah, Supersonics are going?
Supersonics are going where?
I'm
To
just
the
saying, like,
championship?
yeah, that's what in your head. Were you thinking that, or were you like, nah, but Jordan is there?
Oh, probably was about Jordan. No one was getting through that, man. That sucked. We got so close, it's just like whatever. But yeah, no, it was a good time. Like I freaking love the basketball game.
Yeah.
You know, I used to sit on the court in Seattle, like Gary got me courtside seats. I was just so happy. One time he was playing, I don't know who they were playing against, and I'm on the court, not on the court, sitting on the court side, but on the court. And he's defending someone. I can't even tell you who it was. And I was like, get him, babe, get him. He was like, I got him. I got him. It was so funny. He would talk to me while he was on the floor. And then I would go halftime. I look at my girls in the stands and we'll go to the bar. And it'll be the second 2 minutes left in the second quarter, right before halftime. And I will come back, maybe the third quarter, maybe the fourth quarter. And he was like, where were you? I was like, at the bar. He's like, you didn't see me. I said, I saw you on TV in the bar. He just shake his head. It was some good times.
During that time, did you understand, say, like during the Barkley era, I mean, obviously the dad is in that conversation too. I mean, an era of greatness, like that. The NBA, I mean, obviously we're seeing greatness in a different way right now and stuff like that. But I mean, it's so rich. Did you know that you were experiencing the type of history that would, become folklore?
That's a good question. I don't know. I know, probably not. Not now that I'm sitting here now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I met Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. I met Charles Barkley and Elijah Wan. And you named all the greats. Like I've met them. They've hugged me. They call me Mrs. Payton or Monique or Mo. So whenever I would see Charles Barkley out, like at an All-Star or something, he goes, hey, Mrs. Payton. I said, stop calling me Mrs. Payton. And he will pick me up, like literally pick me up off the ground. I say, Charles, put me down, please. It's crazy. Yeah. Carmelo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think when you guys went to LA, because that was a point of contention for a lot of people in Utah, because obviously we went through the LeBron thing where, he did the decision and did all that stuff, but we also had that, with the Lakers and creating a super team at that time. And I had family, and I have family now. My wife's from Utah, and Karl Malone with the Jazz was like,
big.
Everything, right?
Yeah. Karl Malone and John Stockton.
And then you take a Gary from Seattle that is a staple. That's it. And they both go to Lakers. Did you, as a family member, did you experience was there pushback on it? And did you think that team, there's no way they could be beat?
I don't remember the pushback. I had 3 kids to worry about. I wasn't really into all that basketball crap like that.
Yeah.
But I thought they were going to win. They had Carl, they had Gary, they had Shaq, they had Kobe. Who else was there? That 5th player. But anyway, yeah, we expected to win, and they didn't, and people were pissed.
What about now, as far as like, every parent that has a kid that plays sports.
Yeah.
And especially like I live in North County, San Diego. So every parent thinks that their kid is going to be Steph Curry. And it's their first year playing basketball and they missed all their shots and they're like, yeah, but he got that potential. Right. How hard is it to not like talk about, because I want to talk about my child. Like if he even sniffs the court, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, but he was an all-star sniffer. You know,
Right.
how hard is it not to go? I mean, because you have the receipts to be able to talk about your son or talk about, like you could talk because all your kids are champions. Like,
Hmm.
is it tough to hold back?
I don't know. My kids are so amazing. I brag on them all the time, and I
Yeah.
try not to because they're good kids. I mean, everyone has their faults, right? Every
Yeah.
kid, they're not perfect by any means. But I tell you this, they are respectful.
Yeah.
They are respectful, and no one can say anything else about that. So don't get me started on that part. But it is hard. Like, I can say Gary is the best, one of the best. Okay. First of all, he's a champion, right? He's one of the best. He's not the best at everything, right?
Yeah.
But does your kid have a ring? Your kid doesn't have a
No,
ring.
no.
And he did play. He did play
Oh, he
during
was
that.
instrumental. I was so sad the next year when he went to. I mean, I was happy. Don't get me wrong, going to the Trailblazers.
I get
Um,
it. I get
I
it.
was so happy for him because the contract, everything like that. But I was like, he was. I mean, he was the whole, like heart and soul of the Warriors.
I
And so
mean,
that's why I was so glad he came back.
he was very he was very happy that he came back to the Warriors. He really does enjoy playing for that organization,
Yeah.
like literally. But it's a business, right? And I told him that. I was like, babe, you gotta go get your money. You have worked so hard for so long, in the G League included, to not go get it.
Yeah.
And if it all works out, you'll be back. And there he was, right back with the Warriors. And it's unfortunate that he gets injured every now and then, but it happens. Things happens. You just keep pushing forward and, stay healthy as much as you can, work out, um, you know, move forward.
When we were talking about the foundation and things that people don't understand, what do you wish that the normal fan understood about the game? Because you have a insight to it different. Like, for us, a person that's a novice and watching games, they're like, oh, why, why does a person sit out? Why do they load manage? Or, come on, they get paid X to be able to play. Why don't they just play every time? But you see it from the interpersonal side. When we see a person get traded, we don't realize that uproots a family. We don't realize that they have to change schools. We don't realize that the family is impacted by those things. We're just like, why did you leave our city?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what do you wish that the fan would understand?
I wish they understood that we are like we are human beings. This is my husband's, right? Or the WNBA. This is my wife's job. This is what they do. Like, this is not easy for us. It's not easy that my kid don't see their father on Christmas or on Thanksgiving. I don't see my dad every day. He can't take me to basketball, football, dentist, doctor because he's working. Like, you're lucky because you have your dad there every single day. He goes to work and he comes home, but you see him every single day. He tucks you in every single night, or your mother from the WNBA. I want you to know that when we get hurt, when they get hurt, they have to recuperate. You can't go back after a week or two, because if you do, you're going to either tear it after it's been torn, you're going to completely tear it, or you're going to break it or whatever. Like, let them rest and be healed. That's how they get more injuries when they come back too early. They want to come back, but it's not healthy for them to come back half healed. Right?
Yeah.
And like Draymond, like, it's so rude that they say those mean things to him, especially in Boston. Like, there's other kids there. His wife is there. His own kids are there, and they listen to that crap. Like, it's so rude, and they should all be taken out of the arena, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Like, just vulgar stuff. Even their T-shirt says mean things. Like, it's so, and you have to have, You have to be hard and strong, and just so it can just, roll off. But when it comes to my babies, to see that and hear that about my dad or whatever, it's just horrible.
What about like when you go to a game now? So I DM'd you to no response earlier in the season. I went to the Kings game with the Warriors, and I got to see Gary play, and I took my brother-in-law's dad works for the Kings organization. He's there, at the Light the Beam play. I don't know what that place is called, but I just call it that place. But when you're there and you're at the game watching him, first of all, we got to know, do you go to the bar in the second half and watch it on TV, or do you just stay in the stands for Gary now? I think I might have lost you there. I think I lost Monique for a second. Let's see. There she is. But we're going to get the answer to her as far as if she spends the whole time on the court watching, because it's so interesting to me from the NBA standpoint and from a parent standpoint, how a person could have the if somebody was talking bad about about their child or their husband or anything like that. I think that's probably one of the toughest things that we can go through as a because we don't really know what that's like. Monique, it's so cool because, with her, knowing her since 1999, it's nice to be able to have a conversation with her about these kind of things. And if you are, let's see, there we go. I think we lost her there for a second, but we got her back. There we go. I got you back.
Okay.
You
I don't know why it keeps doing that.
It's okay. It's all right. So do me the favor here. Where was I in asking the question? Do you remember?
You were Sacramento.
Okay. So do you stay for all quarters on the court watching Gary now, or do you go to the bar in the second quarter?
Good question. I go to the bar and nothing changed. Second quarter. But I run back. But I don't stay long. As soon as that third quarter starts, I run back to my seat.
Okay, good. Well, that being said, as a mom, when you're in the stands, if you hear somebody, will you clap back a little, hey, or will you let them know? No?
They don't say much. I don't think I've ever heard anything negative about Gary, but I used to on Instagram.
Uh-huh.
I used to clap back, and little Gary would see it. He's like, "Mom, stop responding."
But what about if they're say you're at a Sacramento game and Gary D's someone up, or one of my favorite things is, he's 6'2" and plays above the rim. This is one of my favorite things about him. And he blocks shots of guys that are 6'10", 7 foot. He is a beast. If my son blocked somebody like that and D'd him up the way that he does, and I don't understand how he jumps just straight up. Like him and Draymond can defend on anybody.
I had the highest vertical when I was in college.
You did?
Yeah, that's where he got his skills from.
Okay, you told me you didn't know your high jump record. What was your vertical?
I didn't. I don't know how high, but I had the high. I can call my coach. You want me to call my coach? Let's
get him on the line. We need to know what the vertical was. So he got the it's legend has it that he got his basketball skills from his mama. So we're saying that too. But
right.
If my son was doing that and a person with the Kings jersey and I was playing the Kings, I would be like, my son just rejected your stuff. Stay home. Like, do you go like that? Do you lay in a little bit?
I do it with my people that I'm with. I'm like, yeah, he dunked that shit or whatever. Like, yeah, Gary. I get into it. I be trying to be cool though, right? But I can't help it. It's so beautiful to watch.
It's an amazing thing.
I'm just so proud of him.
Yeah.
And I'm such a proud mom. Yeah. I'm just so proud of him. I'm happy for him. Like he can actually do whatever he wants with what, like he has his own. He doesn't have to ask anybody for anything anymore.
Yeah.
And I love that for him.
That's amazing. So when he goes to do the thing that I noticed with him is when he goes to shoot a three, he takes the ball, looks at it, spins it, and when he does that, it's cash.
Is it?
Do you see that as a mom? Like, do you see, because he's the only guy that I've seen do it where they'll pass to him, he'll catch, he'll look at the ball, spin it, boom, catch, hit. You know what I'm talking about? Do you see it?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't pay attention. I just want the ball to go in the
You just
basket.
want the ball to go in the basket. Okay.
Let's go. 3
So-
points.
So with the camps, how many camps as you move forward? Because the inaugural is Las Vegas. You got it in Oakland. How many
Yes.
do you want to do a year? Is this going to be a one time a year thing? And is it going to come to a city near us, or is it only in cities where Gary has played?
So we've had our first annual in Oakland. This year will be our second annual in Oakland. This
Okay.
year we've added Vegas. So we want to try to hit Vegas, Utah, go to Slick. I'm sure we can use that gym.
Yes.
Portland. We want to get one in Portland, one in Seattle.
Got it.
Wait, do we want? Oh yeah, Portland. Maybe Corvallis, but because he went to OSU.
Yeah.
So, but Corvallis is such a small little college town. But yeah, we're trying to, and so we may like drop Vegas this next year and go to Utah, like move around. We don't want to take up all of his time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
I mean, I'm vying for Carlsbad. I mean, I think Carlsbad's a great place to do something like that. I think it would be amazing. We did get a G League team. Did you know that?
I did not.
We got the Clippers.
The Clippers.
So Carlsbad is in Carlsbad G League is in Carlsbad. Yeah. And
Is that where you live? I thought you were
Yeah.
in San Diego.
no, well, Carlsbad is like 30 minutes north of San Diego with most
Oh,
people.
is that what you're saying? Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay,
So,
okay.
and Carlsbad, I tell you, it is a hotbed for kid sports. It's the well, check this out. You'll have to look into it. It's the largest flag football league in the country is here
Oh,
in
wow.
Carlsbad because of all the families. And
Mhm.
so anything to do with sports, we've got so many Super Bowl champions that are here.
Mhm.
All the stuff like Sports Hub, it's wild to see it. Like, so I'm putting my ballot in for Carlsbad for the GP2 Foundation to do a thing here.
Sounds
And
like a
you
plan.
guys are going to be doing your wine mixer too. Am I correct?
Yes, so we have our annual wine mixer, which is a private event. It's just our first year was our coming out. This is who we are. We want to show you and we don't like stuffy events. It's not ever going to be a sit down dinner. It's
Yeah.
going to be a stand up with some bar stools, laughing, having some wine or your favorite cocktail. We'll tell you a little bit about what we're doing. Have a few little auction items. And so we're also looking for some experiences.
Ooh.
So if anyone has an experience we're looking probably a good maybe 10 auction items.
Okay.
But yeah,
Where are
some
you guys doing
experience.
that? Where are you doing that at? In Vegas?
No. It's the California wine mixer. No, it's not the California wine. Well, it is, but it's in Napa Valley.
Oh, that one's in Napa.
In Napa
Okay.
Valley. Yeah. And Gary, we had our first one, and Gary just really enjoyed it. We had 75 people. When we invited 75, and 73 people came.
Wow.
It
That's
was
amazing.
beautiful. Yeah, it was just beautiful. So now we're working on doing that in September. And like I said, again, it's a private event, and you have to be invited. So you might get an invitation.
That's amazing. That's incredible. And so you're looking for companies that have experiences like,
A
chefs.
round trip ticket, tickets to the Sphere
Yes.
with 2 night stay at a hotel,
Mhm.
a show, a dinner, something, we want some fun stuff.
Absolutely. And then you guys auction those off, and then all the proceeds go to the foundation.
100%.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
incredible.
it's so good and it's so fun and we love it. And when it's time to work, we get to work and we haven't stopped. And I'm a flight attendant.
Really?
Yeah. I've been
Yes. Well, I knew from back in the day. So you stayed? What airline was it, and what
wait,
airline?
time out. Back in the day where? When? I've only
No,
been a flight
flight
attendant
attendant.
for 4
When?
years.
How many years?
4.
Oh, 4 years. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I got divorced, worked at Saks for 8 years,
Yeah.
left Saks, went to fly for Spirit Airlines. I love
Okay.
Spirit. Watch your mouth. We're a great company. I
Yeah.
love it. And I just took my recurrent, which we have to be qualified every year to fly.
Uh-huh.
And it's so much anxiety because I'm not a great test taker. I get nervous, but I pass, of course, with flying colors. And yeah, so I get to fly again and I love it. I get to go wherever I want, whenever I want. So go see my little
That's
grandbabies.
amazing.
Yeah.
How is
So
it
that's
different? How is it different being a mom and being a grandma? What's the love difference? Because I've heard of this saying that you perfect parenting when you become a grandparent.
well, for me, well, you know what they always say, you just give them back. You don't have to keep them or and so I love my grandboys. They're so smart and they're so adorable and they're funny. And I get butterflies every time I see them and they just love on me and we hide and we play basketball all day. And I have to be the cheerleader and the coach and I have to be Steph Curry sometimes while he's Uncle G. Um, yeah. And I also, I'm an artist.
Really?
I have a IG, my art, and I love it. People was like, "Oh, I could do that." Okay, well, do it. But
Yeah.
those pieces I got behind me, I did those on my
Really?
wall.
I was about
Yeah,
to ask what median do you what type of materials do you use?
it's just acrylic and texture.
Okay.
That's texturized, but I don't know. I love it.
That's awesome.
And it makes me happy. It's my passion. So
That's
that's a little
incredible.
bit about me.
Are you going to be auctioning off some of those for
Well, not that, but I am going to do 1 or 2 pieces. Not
e-
that big, 'cause that's 48 by 48. That's
everything
huge.
has a price. So would there be a price that you would, I mean, because these go great in the decor, but is there a place where you would be like, yes, I will take them off my wall if you
I've done
support the
that
foundation?
100%. I
Yes.
have my art gallery upstairs in one of my bedrooms, and I have not bedrooms, but in one of the rooms, I made an art gallery. Art gallery. I have a lot of pictures up there. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that, Kelly.
What else is the passion for you? Like, because you've made your life about serving others and you serve everybody, you make sure that everybody's good. What are the things that really make Monique want to wake up and, excited? I mean, we understand it's the grandkids, we understand it's your kids. What is the things that really make you tick?
You know what? You hit it on the nail. So so a lot of my girlfriends who've been in their wives, basketball wives, right?
Yeah.
The show, right?
Uh-huh.
And believe me, my girlfriend, who's the executive producer, Shawnee, she has tried to get me on the show, I think 2 times or 3 times
Uh-huh.
and interview for it, and it just never falls through for whatever reason. And so I'm really I always ask my kids, is it okay if I get on the show if it happens? They were like, Mom, just be yourself. But that show's a little nasty and can be, right? And so in my heart of heart, I'm like, do I really want to get out there and grind, for a couple of dollars? And so it wasn't up to me. It was the universe saying, nope, you don't need to be on the show or you whatever, right? So that was a way to make ends meet, right? After I divorced or what have you. Like I
Yeah.
could have done that, but it didn't work out. And so when I went to work at Saks, what made me happy is serving the people. And so I literally know that I'm here on this planet to serve and to love on people and to be, I'm an empath. So I, I see people on the plane all the time. And this one lady one time, she was arguing, her and her husband or friend, whoever it was going back and forth. And I see her distraught, and it just broke my heart. So I went over there. I was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can I get you a glass of wine or something?" Like, and she looked at him, and I said, "'Cause I just feel like I should come over here and just give you some love." And she's like, "Well, and they started telling me the story and everything. And so I was like, "Well, do you guys care for a glass of wine?" And so I got them a glass of wine, and I sat down. I said, "You guys, kiss and make up." And so after a while, they came back to me and they was like, "You know what? Thank you so much, because we were on our way on vacation and he did something wrong and he didn't want to admit to it. Now he admitted to it, and now we're great and we're going to have a great time in Vegas." I said, "I'm so happy to hear that." So I know what I'm here on this earth to do is to love, not only on my freaking kids, but on everybody in the world. I promise you. I promise you that's all I'm here to do.
What do you think, Raquel? Like, I think there's always things that we don't tell our kids enough, or that our family members, or, you know, maybe the time, it doesn't allot for it. What maybe have you not told Raquel enough about who she is and what she means to you?
I tell her all the time. I tell my kids I love them every single day. If not every single day, because I don't talk to Gary every single day. I tell Raquel I love her every single day. Julian probably every other day. Gary probably once or twice a week, other than texting. And I tell him how great he is, and I tell Julian, you can be the whatever you want because you're so smart. And Raquel, you're the greatest mom. Like, I'm so proud of you. So they know exactly how I feel about them. There's no question. I hug, I kiss, I love. So they don't question, the love I have for them, or for me to give them kudos for whatever. They already know.
Where do you think that comes from you? Like, what was it? Was it mom? Was it pop? Was it aunts, uncles? What was it in your life that, because if you go back, and it's going to be great, because when you go back and listen to this, you're experiencing it right now. I'm actually hearing it, right? Yeah. So if you think about the overarching theme, it's that you love on people so much, and then you add action to that love. And most people don't do the second part. You love on your son so much when he finds out that, when you find out that he has the superpower of dyslexia, but you actually add action to it, and now you're making a way for other moms, right?
Yeah.
So where did you learn that part? Like, and who was the inspiration, or who did you emulate in your life?
I'm gonna say my mom and my dad. We had so much fun at home growing up, and I didn't realize we were poor. I didn't know that. My dad said we were poor because there was so much love in the house, and we played games. We would play baseball in the house, like me and my dad and my brothers, and football in the house. And my dad would make up games like Gopher, like a gopher that pops up. It's a game he made up, but we would sit around and we would play games, and we would have big Christmases and everything that I wanted. I never thought we were poor, but he always said we were poor. And so my grandmother had 14 kids. My mother is one of 14. I have 31 first cousins. And as much as I love, we all love, like all of us. When we go to the family reunion and we're all together and one of us go to the store, we kiss everybody. Okay, I'll be back. I'm going to the store. Come back. Oh, I got to go to the store. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Coming back. Like, we hug and kiss on each other's necks. And that's just from my growing up. We are a loving family.
Well,
that's where I get it from. Yeah.
It's incredible to see, and it's incredible too that you're continuing to press it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to be able to see that, I just think is amazing. So we're going to have all of the links for the website for the foundation, or for the website for the foundation, for the for the camps. And I tell you, if you are in Las Vegas and your child plays basketball or is thinking about playing basketball or has heard of basketball, can spell basketball, or even can't spell basketball, you need to be
Right.
at the camp. The camp to have the opportunity to be in the midst. And Monique, you're going to be there. Am I correct?
I'm going to be there loving
Okay.
on everybody.
But will you D someone up? Are you going to D
Yeah,
anybody up? You going to?
I will.
Okay.
Someone has to come and confront me.
Okay. So if you go to the camp, what I want you to do, and I need some video, I need you to score on Miss Monique, because you're going to call her Miss Monique. And I want you to do whatever signs you do in Gen ZEF, where you do the head top thing and all the stuff. And I need you to stand there and do in front of her if you score on her. But I think that she's going to reject your shot because she's got a what inch vertical did we call coach?
We didn't call coach.
We didn't call coach. You didn't.
That's
You
all
don't
right.
follow.
Well, next time.
Okay.
What's your son's name?
My son's name is Maddox.
Maddox. I want
Yes.
to invite Maddox to the camp.
Ooh. So I'm trying to think where because there's the possibility we might be coming through Vegas on that time because we're
Oh, I
going to go to
forget.
Salt Lake.
I thought you were here. But
So-
still, if you can make it through, come.
So get this. I didn't ask the question that my son asked.
Okay,
I
ask
said,
away.
I'm gonna have Miss Monique on the podcast, and I said, do you have any questions for her? He said, yes, I do, Dad. He said, you need to ask it. He said, ask Miss Monique if she's acting right.
Tell Maddox, I am so acting right, but I want to act up so bad. Tell me just like that.
So July 7th, Las Vegas. Then what do we got? When is Oakland?
July 1st and 2nd.
1st and 2nd. So 1st and
2
2nd,
days.
Oakland in the Bay Area.
Yes.
And then we got Vegas the 7th. Miss
Yes.
Monique is going to be at both of them. She's going to
Yes.
be D'ing people up.
Yep.
Can you do some sort of contest? If they do score on you, then they maybe,
They're not going to score, so no worries.
so they won't.
No chance. No chance.
Monique, you're absolutely phenomenal. And thank you so much for being on the show.
You're
And,
welcome, Kelly.
I started the podcast originally because of my two kids, Maddox and McKenna, and I didn't want them to be, I never wanted them to worship idols. I just wanted them to be inspired by iconic people like yourself.
Aw.
And so what advice would you have for Maddox and McKenna? And if you could tell us, say both of their names and call yourself Auntie, it would be awesome.
Maddox and
McKenna.
Maddox and McKenna, if there's anything I would tell you is to first respect your mom and dad, and two, don't hesitate to ask for help in any situation. And what else I'm supposed to say?
No, that was good. That was
Oh.
amazing. But do me a favor too. Is this part? I think I'd be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity. Speak to the moms and the parents out there that have kids that are maybe struggling but don't understand it's a superpower.
So to the mothers out there, the parents, mothers and fathers, be patient with your kids. Learn as much as you can about dyslexia with your child so that you can understand what's happening. Your children is not broken. They are not broken. They just learn differently. So just be there. Early detection is key. Make sure you get assessed as early as possible, and the schools are supposed to do it. So make sure you know your rights. All right. So yeah, just love on them.
Well, you're a great example of that. You're a phenomenal example of that, Monique. So I'm going to ask you if you can to stick around for a second. We got a commercial to run, and then, but if you could stick around for a little bit after that, it would be awesome. Is that
I
cool?
sure will.
You're incredible, and thank you so much. And just as a disclaimer, I didn't slide into her DMs like she was talking about. So I'm saying that because my wife, if she listens to the podcast at some point, but it's so fun. I love the fact that how it all comes around, and the
Yes.
message to every one of you guys. Number one is to love on people. You hear that from Miss Monique. Love on people at the highest level. And take that love and add action to it. And that's what you've done. And it's such a great example to be able to see it from afar, but also understand the person behind it, which I think is amazing. So
Thank you so much, Kelly, for having me.
oh, you're incredible. We got to have Raquel on the show too. So
1000%.
I want to have her on, but I'd love to have you guys both together on it because I'm not going to pull any punches back and forth between you guys. But it would be an honor to be able to have her on too. I think it would be awesome because I know she kind of stays like, she stays out the limelight. She,
Yes.
which
Yeah,
I think is
totally.
great, which I think is awesome. So, Monique, you're officially off the hot seat. Stick around for a second.
Thank you.
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue